Matilda, I've simply written at the end of yours, wow. Okay, if you're writing something like this and using language the way you do in a sack, in a first draft sack under time conditions, I think you're going to be really pleasantly surprised with the results that you get. Okay, so look, things that you did well here, clear link to the prompt, and not only that, this is the first example of a I mean, I haven't marked a lot of drafts yet, but this is the first response to a prompt that has flipped the prompt around a little bit. It said, yes, okay, sure, we are influenced by a landscape even after we leave it, and more than that, we also influence a landscape after we leave it. You know, the landscape doesn't only influence us, we also influence the landscape. And so you build into the complexity of the prompt. You know, you show really, really well that you recognise, okay, I'm going to have something to say about the prompt. And not only am I going to agree with it, you know, just show you how I agree with it, I'm going to have something, I'm going to add a little bit of my own contribution to this. Okay, and you do it so clearly and concisely that it works really well. You don't make a whole new prompt, you simply add to the prompt that is there, and it's just it's a fantastic piece. You should be really, really happy with this. Look, it's not flawless, don't get me wrong, it's not flawless, but you're writing, if you write like this, you know, there's no reason why you can't bring in similar quotes that you've used in this practice prompt to the sack on Tuesday to a completely different prompt, but you just use them in a different context, okay? Because some of that stuff that you've talked about here, you know, you've talked about Kinsella's time in America, looking back, memory, you know, that's really great. Work that in on Tuesday if you can. This idea about a transcendental, place, fantastic stuff. You know, it's just really impressive. You know, the fact that places can be etched into our memories. Excellent stuff. You know, Kinsella's deep-rooted connection with the wheat belt. Fantastic. I just think you use links. You have a great balance between links to prompt, links to Kinsella, and use of little lines, little snippets of poetry that Kinsella writes. But you use those little snippets to bolster your own individual points. So, you know, it's really, really excellent. I would suggest the only little suggestions I would have is the first time maybe that you mention Kinsella, you might want to introduce him formally. So you started your second paragraph, you just went, in his poetry, Kinsella explores the, maybe think about, you know, look, it works really well, and I don't think you know, an examiner at the end of the year wouldn't necessarily mark you down for it, but it's just something that you might consider. You know, Australian poet John Kinsella also explores this idea, something like that, you know, just introducing formally. And the other thing is, when you talked about the scar with Lord of the Flies, great reference, because you started your piece with a scar as well, you know, the fact that you yourself gained a little cut from the bush. So I like that reference to a scar yet again. But just remember that you said that the plane crash landed represents the destructive and violent side of humans. Well, the plane crash, yeah, destructive and violent, but a plane crashed, so it wasn't necessarily deliberate. So maybe just, you know, now we're clutching at straws here, but maybe just maybe just try and clarify that a little bit more. That it shows the destructive and violent side of machines that machines made by humans can have when they are out of control, something like that. Very small point to make there. But look, you're on the right track, no doubt about it at all. If you can kind of use this type of language, bank some of these little snippets and quotes from poems that you've used, and maintain that language that you have used here, I think you'll should be going into the sack very, very confident on Tuesday. And you know, the way that you're writing here, I think you've got a real you've got a decision to make here. What are you going to write about in the end of year? What text are you going to use? You wrote on Night Street really well. You seem to have a really good connection with Kinsella though, so that might be something that you sit down and think about. Well done.